had a lot of problems with my parents. My dad was always unfaithful to my mom, so there was always a lot of fighting. So I always wanted to go away from my house because I felt like if I was away from my house, I wouldn't deal with the problems. I would try to do everything to not come home. Like I would stay in school, I would stay after school until like the last hour because I didn't want to be at home, or I would go to a friend's house, or we would ditch, to go to another person's house. Me and my mom, we couldn't get along. Like we couldn't be in the same room together because anything she did, it made me so mad. And with my dad too. Like I couldn't be with him. So when my dad would tell me something, like he would get really mad. And then one day I would try to like push him away. So that's when it got really bad because like I started hitting them. With my sister, she would see all those problems. And her way of dealing with that was she would cut herself. I started drinking, and then I felt like that was that's when I was at peace. I felt like I couldn't talk to anyone if I wasn't drunk. It was one day that I was driving and I was drunk and I was driving. And in my mind, I kept thinking a lot about God and what they would say at church. But I don't know, I was driving and I remember I almost got hit by a car. It happened so fast. And I just remember I just parked and I just started crying and crying and crying because I felt like I was gonna die. And I'm like, I didn't want to die like this. So that was my lowest, I think, for me. So my grandma found out about all the infidelities and all the problems. So she invited my parents to the Universal Church, and that's how we started going. So my parents were going to the Universal Church to try to fix like their marriage. And then I would go just to please them on Sundays. I would go only because if I went to church with them, they would let me go out. I was there for many years and I didn't really want anything to do with God because I feel like, I've never had an experience or anything with him. So I thought he didn't exist. Like it was just something that people would say. And then when I was going to have that accident, I remembered about what the pastor would say in church. And I feel like that the next day I went to church and I just told the pastor everything that was going on, and he helped me out and I did my prayer. And ever since that, I'm like, okay, God, I'm gonna let this go. I want to be free from it. I don't want to have this hate from my parents. I don't want to be addicted to drinking and smoking. Like I want to be a new person. And that's when it little by little started to change. I went to the services on Friday to get delivered, and I got delivered from drinking. I would wake up and I didn't feel like I needed anymore. So that's how I started going more and more, and then everything just changed. I would hear at church that they would say that you'd be complete, and you wouldn't, I wanted to feel like that. I wanted to be complete, and I wanted to, when the pastor would say that you'd be complete when you receive the Holy Spirit. So I wanted that. I wanted that more than anything. So I started praying more. I started doing some things that I would never do, like reading the Bible, because I didn't used to like to read the Bible, or I didn't think there was any point to it. After I received the Holy Spirit, I became a person, like a happy person. Now I'm at peace at home. Wherever I'm at peace. I don't feel anxious to talk to people. I don't want to hide from people. Like I'm social, and I have a really beautiful relationship with my parents. I talk with them. My mom became like my best friend, and my dad too. So it changed a lot.